is, I once prayed in Jama'ah, in congregation, and we were 7 people. Then the Imam asked us to read one verse each from Surah Al Fatiha continuously, by the meaning from the first verse to the last verse. My question is that from the Sunnah? We'll answer this after the following call, inshallah. The person, Abdul Hakim, who attended the prayer in congregation, and the Imam requested each one of the 7 followers to recite one verse. The question does not provide a complete and a clear picture of where and when. Yani, did he ask them to do that in the prayer? Did he ask them? Because he said, I once prayed in congregation, and we were 7 people, and the Imam asked us to read one verse, each one of us, continuously from Surah Al Fatiha. So if you mean that he asked you to do this after the prayer, there will be a further question, which is, in our halqa, in tajweed, this is what we do. We ask each person to recite an ayah, 2 or 3, it depends, then the following person. But if this is done on a routinely basis to recite Surah Al Fatiha after the prayer, and each one of the audience would recite one ayah, of course this is an innovation. And obviously it's not imaginable that he asked you to recite an ayah each in the prayer. So I'd assume that was after the prayer. There was no need to give this lengthy introduction that we prayed in congregation and all of that. So in either case, after the prayer, to recite Surah Al Fatiha is not actually one of the prescribed adhkar after the fard prayer or the nafil. Keep in mind that Surah Al Fatiha is the greatest chapter of the Quran. So by saying it is not one of the adhkar of Khitam Salah, does not belittle the surah whatsoever. No. It's like I say, well, the last 2 ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Mulk and Surah Al-Sajdah, or whatever surah, is not prescribed to be recited as a part of Khitam Salah, because it is not. What is prescribed is Ayatul Kursi and Al-Mu'awwidhat, Qul huwa Allahu ahad, Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, and Qul a'udhu bi rabbil nas. But if you're talking about a halqa where he asked the Amir or the teacher, the Imam asked each person to recite one ayah, fine, no problem. Keep in mind that when we recite Surah Al Fatiha after the outside the prayer, or even whenever you recite the Quran in general, you do not get to say Ameen by the end, because Ameen, Jibreel alayhi salam taught it to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be recited whenever you recite Surah Al Fatiha within the prayer, in each rak'ah, whether fard or nafil. And Ameen means, Oh Allah, Allahumma stajib, Oh Allah, accept and answer my dua. Barakallahu fikum.